mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. I am merely Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. This mailbag comes from our live show that we do on Wednesdays where people submit questions to us. We react to them in real time as it's happening using the hashtag Seahawks and super chatting. It's a great way to get involved in the show. And you may be wondering, how can I get involved in your next mailbag segment? Well, here's how. If you subscribe to Seahawks Today, you will be notified when you turn on notifications and join the Noti Gang of when we have new content and when we go live here on Seahawks Today. So subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, stay up to date, never miss a moment. The latest happenings with your Seattle Seahawks, we're covering them every day on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Dan the Man Miller with a $20 super chat. So after the schedule, I think we win 11 games. What do you think? 11 games would be very nice. I think that if Mike Macdonald gets to 10 or 11 wins in year one, we should be feeling really good. I would say that the floor is 7. The ceiling is 11. It's going to be in that range for the Seahawks this year. I think they are a borderline playoff team as is, just like they've been the last 2 seasons. Can they get over the hump? That remains to be seen if they can take that next step, but I think that's what we're looking at, somewhere between that 7 to 11 range for your Seattle Seahawks. And then John Smith with a $100 super chat. Bang! John Smith says, thanks for great coverage during the quietest part of the offseason. Really hoping the coaching change will lead us to less penalties, better discipline, and fewer mistakes next season. I think 10 to 11 games is a nice stretch goal. Yeah, I think it's a very good goal for the Seahawks. You'd be feeling great if this team wins 10 or 11 games. And think about this. Why is Mike Macdonald the coach right now and not Pete Carroll? Because this team underachieved last year. This roster has gotten better, and just by the coaching change in itself, this team should improve. So with that said, John, I'm with you. I think the Seahawks very well. If you get to 10 or 11, you're in great shape, and you're very optimistic about this future as far as that goes. Thank you, John Smith. And then Dan Miller with a $50 super chat. Bang! Love you, Dan. Dan the Man saying, who do you think will be our return man? So the Seahawks have a couple options when it comes to their return game. Remember, with the new kickoff rules in the NFL, you got to have 2 return men out there. So there's a couple names that I'm going to throw out there for you. D. Eskridge, if he makes the team, is an obvious choice. Aesop Winston, same thing. If he makes the team, he's an obvious choice. D. Williams. I also like Chenault, who the Seahawks brought in from the Panthers. Also, you still have Tyler Lockett as a potential possibility as well. JSN is a potential option there. I think that the Seahawks have a number of guys they can go with, and it will be by committee that you'll see plenty of options when it comes to the return game for Seattle. Dan, much appreciated. James with a $10 super chat. Does Olu, I think that's what he means, start at center? Yes, I do think Olu is going to be your starting center. And they must like what they see in Olu because they let Evan Brown go. They did not draft another center. You did bring in Nick Harris, who was a center and fullback for the Cleveland Browns, but all signs point to that Olu Oluwatimi will be the Seahawks starting center in 2024. He was the top center in college football a couple years ago with the Michigan Wolverines. He certainly looks the part. He is a bit raw, but sounds like the confidence is there in this coaching staff and Olu being that right guy. So, yes, I expect Olu to be your starting center. John Smith with a $50 super chat. Bang! John says, we've talked about cuts and dead money. Any scenarios where we can trade/restructure our way out of the cap mess we are in? So here's a couple potential trade/cut candidates for Seattle. I think whoever doesn't win the outside corner job between Mike Jackson or Trey Brown, there's a good chance that the loser of that battle gets traded because there's enough teams that need starting outside corner help, that need depth, and the Seahawks have depth, and the Seahawks could unload that from the books and also get a draft pick potentially out of it. I think the loser of that competition's out. I think Jaron Reed's a possibility, especially with Byron Murphy coming in, with Jonathan Hankins coming in. Jaron Reed potentially could be on the chopping block there. One other name I'll throw out there as a possibility. I know that he just showed up, but Laken Tomlinson, think about this scenario for a second. Let's say that Christian Haynes and Anthony Bradford both look good in camp and in the preseason and all that. Maybe if you're the Seahawks, you want to start your young guys in the interior of the offensive line. Could be a team looking for a veteran to start at the interior, like Laken Tomlinson. Tomlinson could be the odd man out in that equation, so we'll see. John, thanks for that $50 super chat. Simple Jack is the best, wants to know, what's the goal for Sam Howell this season? Well, I think the goal is to get the starting job at some point and not give it up. Whether it's Geno struggles and Sam gets his chance, or it's Geno gets hurt and Sam gets his chance, whatever it may be. If you're Sam Howell, if you get an opportunity at some point in time, you show that you're the guy and don't give the keys back to Geno Smith. That should be the goal out there is, hey, I'm ready for my opportunity and I don't give it up. That I show that I should be the quarterback of this team going forward. That should be the goal for Sam Howell in 2024. Is he capable of doing it? We'll see. But that's the assignment for Sam Howell, is if he gets his chance, he's ready to go and he doesn't give it up. Be honest with me. Our pinned comment today, is Sam Howell the long-term solution for your Seattle Seahawks at quarterback? It's our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. Why for yes, and for no, is he the guy or not? Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points, maybe it's rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball. I'm looking ahead to the start of the NFL season. I got our guy DK Metcalf to have more than 1,025.5 receiving yards. I got Lamar Jackson to have more than 3,600.5 passing yards. If both those hit, I'm turning $20 into $60 on Prize Picks. And you can win big, too, with Prize Picks. Get that $100 deposit match on your first deposit. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS to play along today. A link is in the comments and description of today's video. Glad to have Prize Picks on board here on Seahawks Today. Next question. Are you confident in Abraham Lucas, and should Seattle consider trading him? I like the player, Abraham Lucas. My lack of confidence is not to do with his talent or his capabilities. When he's been healthy, he's been just as good as Charles Cross has. I think he can be in the upper echelon of tackles in this league. My lack of confidence has to do with health. I don't know how that knee is going to hold up. I don't know if that knee is going to be able to go through 17 games this season, if he's going to be the same player he was prior to that knee injury. That is my concern. It's not a talent question for me. It is a health concern. And I am very worried about that. Hopefully everything's okay and that he can put it behind him. But that remains to be seen. That is my concern when it comes to Abe Lucas there. I don't think the Seahawks should trade him. What do you guys think? Are you all in on Abe Lucas, or should they move on? Type T for trade, K for keep. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Time for 2 more questions. Seth writes, what's going to be our biggest improvement next season? I'm thinking it's going to be in the trenches. Trenches are going to be a dramatic improvement. Defensive line is so much better. Bringing in Byron Murphy. Offensive line, those trenches as well, with the interior being much improved, with Tomlinson, with Haynes, with Olu Oluwatimi and Bradford being another year older. I also like the secondary a lot, too. I like bringing in Rayshon Jenkins. I like another year older of Devin Witherspoon and Reek Woolen. And then just the coaching aspect of Mike McDonald getting the most out of those guys. This team's going to be very improved from what they were a season ago. Last question. James writes in, what will Barner's role be, blocking tight end or more receiving tight end? A.J. Barner, the Seahawks drafted out of Michigan in the 4th round, he is more of a blocking tight end. I think there's a possibility that we could see him in a red zone capacity as the Seahawks don't have their red zone tight end of Colby Parkinson anymore, so I think that's possible. They might try to turn him into that, although he wasn't much of that at Michigan. But that's what I'm thinking when it comes to A.J. Bourner there. So we shall see. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seahawks Today. Subscribe to the channel for continuing Seahawks coverage, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. I'm Tyler Jones. We will see you next time.